LeBron, you guys are going to wear the Black Mamba uniforms tomorrow. I wanted to know if you recall the first time seeing them, either when the Lakers wore them a couple seasons ago or just when you first got your hands on it. And you're a guy who has aesthetic opinions. What do you think about that look?
I thought they were cool from when I seen them, when they wore them a few years ago. And obviously, until you get your hands on them, you don't get to see the detail in them. It's super duper detailed. Has that snake mamba print on it, and it means something. It's something more than just a uniform. It represents an individual who gave a franchise 20 years of his blood, sweat, and tears, and his dedication to his craft, both on and off the floor, to make that franchise be proud of him, and hopefully vice versa. So, like I think last year we had a Shaq jersey. Magic did one as well. I think it's pretty cool when you know you're wearing a uniform that a legend had his hands on.
Calgary?
Just adding to the closeout game, which you've obviously played closeout games before, but the fact that you're also, potentially one win away from going home and being reunited with a lot of the people that you want to see and care about, does it make it harder to kind of prepare the same way for this game than any of the others?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have a support system at home that's taking care of that allows me to focus on my job. So when I get home, but I got a job to do.
Okay, Sam Amick, please.
Bron, you've talked about AD so much during this run, but I'm curious about the relationship basically 2018. I think it was December of 2018. You mentioned to Dave about how it'd be amazing to play with him. You've talked about 2012 and the Olympics. What was the evolution of the two of you between that time, and when did you decide, like, in terms of possible partners, to do this thing, that this was a guy that you wanted to be with?
Well, on the 2012 team, first of all, you just look at his 1 year at Kentucky and what he was able to produce for that program in 1 year, to outrun guards, ball handling with the smalls, block shots, catch lobs. I remember one game, I think they were playing North Carolina, and he had the game-winning block. I believe it was versus John Henson, if I'm not mistaken, if my basketball mind is correct. And that block was incredible, and they won that game. But then you just looked at his run throughout that whole March Madness. He was just beyond the best player in college basketball. And we get to 2012 when he's, a young Anthony Davis, and he soaked up everything. He was not a rookie that came in and thought he knew it all or felt like he was who he was, a national player of the year and national champion and so on and so on. He came in with a sponge mentality right off bat, just soaking up everything from myself to Kobe, D-Wade, Melo, so on and so on and so on. You knew right then how great of a kid, how great of a player he was going to be just from that. And in 18, it was, I guess what's known don't need to be said. You look at a guy who can do everything out on the floor versus anybody, and you have visions of what that could look like if you were to team up. And I was speaking truly, just true from the heart and from a basketball mindset. And Dave paid for it, I paid for it for that moment, but I didn't care because I just know how special he is.
All right, we'll take a few more with Will back on Zoom.
All right, thank you. Tanya? Ron, I have two questions for you. The first is you've been a Laker now for 2.5 calendar years, and I'm wondering what you've learned in that time about what it means to be part of this franchise. And then the second is, could you share a little bit of how your relationship with Jeannie has evolved over these last couple of years?
Well, one, what I've learned being a Laker is that the Laker faithful don't give a damn what you've done before. Until you become a Laker, you got to do it with them as well. So they don't care about your resume at all until you become a Laker, and then you got to do it as a Laker, and then they'll respect you. I've learned that. My relationship with Jeannie, I would say, is incredible. I think she's an unbelievable owner. I think she's a powerful woman. I think what she believes in is an extension of her father, and continuing to build this legacy of this great franchise. I'm just happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to have the relationship that I have with her and with Linda Rambis as well. It's very unique, and just honored to be a part of, because I love the history of the game, and I've read so much about Dr. Buss and his teams and his success, and to be playing while his daughter is the owner of the team, I think it's pretty cool. It just adds to the legacy of this franchise.
Hey, LeBron, I wanted to go back to the uniforms just real quick. Did the decision to wear those tomorrow for Game 5, was that something that came from the locker room? Did the players have a say in that? Were you consulted on whether it was the right time to wear those again?
No, I have no idea where it came from. I've seen on the schedule it was prepared for Game 7, so I don't know where it came from. I'll wear any uniform, to be honest. Just put me on the court.
Joe?
Hey, LeBron. It's Joe Barton. Hi. As you remember, when this thing started in the bubble, you were talking about how difficult it can be and was to play without fans. You spoke at length about that. And then separately, you were just saying how rough it was to live in the bubble day to day anyway. And I'm wondering, for both things, when and sort of how you got over it or got through it, like how you were able to kind of get over playing without that usual adrenaline rush of the crowd, and when life in the bubble just kind of, when you were just kind of able to get your own mind around it.
I don't know the exact date. I think it's when anything in life, something that's different, something that's challenging, something that's uncomfortable. I guess it'd be like when I went from the 8th grade to the 9th grade. I went from middle school to high school. It was uncomfortable, and then I got used to it. Or when you guys went to college, for the people who went to college, it was probably uncomfortable leaving home for the first time, and you don't have your mom and dad's cooking or whatever the case may be, and now you in the dorm room and trying to figure us out. But then you figure it out. So it's human. Just human growth. It's a human mindset. It's a growth mindset. You just figure it out. I kept the main thing, and everything else took care of itself. And you control what you control, what you cannot control. You don't worry about.
All right, last one for you, Mark Spears.
Yes, LeBron, can you talk about just the social justice movement that's taking place, how guys have used their platform here, and as it comes to an end, where do you guys go from here?
Well, we know that being here has given us the strength and the numbers. And you can take that from the Golden State Warriors, their strength in numbers, and that's a byproduct of us being here and being able to use this platform to be able to talk about everything that's going on outside the court, and all the social injustice, and the voter suppression, and so many other things that's just going on, the police brutality, and so on and so on and so on, and us being here, having the opportunity to being able to talk about these issues and continue to understand that this world is not just about basketball. And even though we live in this small piece of the game of basketball. There's so many bigger things and so many greater things that's going on. And if you can make an impact and you can make a change or you can have a vision, it just helps out so much, not only in your community, but all over the world, And where do we go from here? We don't stop. Obviously, when the season ends, in less than a week, that everyone disperses and goes back. But I hope that people continue to use their platform, use their individual social media platforms, or if they're doing it that way, if you're an individual that goes into your community and does it that way, however that you continue to create change for the better of all of us. I think it only makes us all better. And it's doesn't matter what race you are, doesn't matter what color you are, don't matter how tall or whatever the case may be, because we all want to see better days. No matter if you agree or don't agree with some of the things that's going on, I think we all love to see better days and see more love than hate. So I know I'll do my part and as much as I can do on continuing to create change, continue to educate, continue to enlighten my community and communities all over the world that listen to me and follow me throughout my journey. So, like I said, you control what you can control and what you can't. Sometimes as much as it hurts, you just try not to worry about it.
Thank you.
LeBron James right there, media availability. He spoke about a number of